Today I would like to talk about attachment, and you may wonder, what is attachment? Attachments are really early templates of how we relate to others, especially in a romantic setting. These templates are based on our early experiences of how we were loved, how our parents or caretakers took care of us. My focus will be the early years and also prenatal time and how that impacts our future behavior. The nature of the first attachment affects the entire future expectations of your relationships and expectation what is possible in your life. In the 1960s, a British academic, John Bowlby, proposed that attachment system is a biological system designed to obtain care from the primary caregiver. The child has an innate need to attach to one main attachment figure, and there is a critical period before the age of 5 for this to happen. His colleague Ainsworth divided attachments into secure and insecure. Insecure attachment was further divided into anxious ambivalent, where relationship with mother was laced with high level of anxiety, or avoidant, where mother was neglectful. There is also another category where mother is both loving and hateful, and the child cannot form any coherent strategy to deal with the situation, leading to a disorganized attachment. In a specially constructed adult attachment interview, this presents us autonomous, which is secure attachment, and the adult has a coherent narrative, or dismissing insecure attachment, where the adult tends to downplay the importance of early relationships. In preoccupied, which is insecure, adults provide in the attachment interview really egocentric, incoherent narrative. In cases of disorganized attachment as a child, which is termed as unresolved in an adult, the narrative is often very confusing and there are lapses in thinking. Ask yourself, am I possibly avoidant? I am somewhat uncomfortable being close to others. I find it difficult to trust them completely, find it difficult to allow myself to depend on them. I am nervous when anyone gets too close, and often love partners want me to be more intimate than I feel comfortable being. Or am I anxious? I find that others are reluctant to get as close as I would like. I often worry that my partner doesn't really love me or won't want to stay with me. I want to get very close to my partner, and this sometimes scares people away. Am I secure? I find it relatively easy to get close to people. I don't often worry about being abandoned or about someone getting too close to me. John Bowlby put forward a model of events in the attachment process. He believed that the developing child constructs internal working models of how the physical world might be expected to behave, how his mother and other significant persons may be expected to behave, and how they interact with each other. Bowlby theorized that infants' capacity to cope with stress was determined by the quality of the attachment behavior provided by the mother, and that further the behavior that emerges is environmental evolutionary adaptation, which makes sense. This has been confirmed by recent science development. Bowlby's theories have been further evolved into transactional theories by Professor Shore, with the primary caregiver playing a central role in co-regulating the child's facially expressed emotion. In fact, healthy brain development requires synchronized interaction with a primary caregiver. So that is why it's so important when a child smiles or makes little noises that the caregiver mirrors the behavior. There are studies done of Vietnam veterans which showed that recovery from war trauma was significantly higher in securely attached soldiers, which makes sense. They obviously had more inner security and therefore more inner resilience. Research in stress psychology showed that stress responses are consistent over time. So you see all these things, they are wired in our brain very early. Attachment transactions are imprinted as enduring internal working models and affect our interpretation of reality. The early years do not have to be perfect. In fact, children benefit from some level of imperfection because it gives them a better idea that the world is not always going to do what they want it to do, and therefore they become more adaptable. The phrase "good enough mother" was first coined in 1953 by Donald Winnicott, a British pediatrician and psychoanalyst. Winnicott observed thousands of babies and their mothers, and he came to realize that babies and children actually benefit when their mothers fail them in manageable ways. Of course, we're not talking about major failures as child abuse or neglect. But every time we make them do things they do not want to do, whether it's feeding them a dinner they don't want to eat or anything else, we prepare them to handle them, life frustrations and disappointment. The good news is that we can actually change the attachment style we have grown up with. And I speak myself from personal experience. I was very anxiously attached. And of course, as I became romantically involved, I would experience such disproportionate level of anxiety and fear, which were not really real, but this anxiety in me stemmed from the early experiences that I have had with my parental system. But as we do work on ourselves, read, learn, work with psychotherapists or coaches, and enter good relationships, we can actually change how we respond. We actually can change our brain, and we can mindfully move from whether this is insecure attachment, which presents as avoidant or anxious, into what is known as secure attachment. Thank you.